her story is insane. So maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but for our audience that might find this interesting. So her big break is she lived in New York City, and her neighbor across the way was Ethan Hawke, the big actor. And so she meets this guy as a neighbor, and she's a musician. So she starts writing music for Ethan Hawke's plays. And then she passed him a recording of the song Stay, I Missed You, which became a
Big
number
hit.
one hit. She
Yeah.
just passed him a recording. He was working on the movie Reality Bites, and he gives it to Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller loves it and plays it over the ending credits of this hit movie. And then they decide to put it on the soundtrack. And that song becomes a number one hit. And even to this day, she's the only artist ever in human history to have a number one song on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US with no record deal.
That's
So so it's hard enough, it's hard enough to have a number one single on a major label. Then it's one thing, it's very infrequently do you get a number one single on an independent label. You just don't have the marketing dollars to push out a number one. And then
right.
one level below that is only her. So she wasn't on a major. She wasn't even on an independent label. She was just one person in an apartment that gave a demo to somebody and has a number one single that led to a massive career after that. So I
That's
thought people would
incredible.
find that interesting.
Yeah, it makes me think of like the music business being what it is. It's like literally one encounter, one meeting, one phone call can change your life, and it's not meant to be like a pipe dream kind of thing or something like that or give people false hope. It's just that's the truth. Like you never know when one phone call is going to come in that is an instant game changer for you. And it's one thing I love about the business because it really is such a tricky business, like emotionally, mentally, to deal with every day. Because there can be these long stretches where there's stuff just, it's like status quo for a while. And then all of a sudden something happens and you're like, oh, so I find myself like in a different city or whatever. And I find that fascinating. And I think that that's a really great example of it.
I already mentioned she gets the demo to Ethan Hawke, gets it to Ben Stiller, becomes a number one hit while she's completely unsigned. From there, the album goes gold, and then the song gets nominated for a Grammy. So she was nominated for a Grammy for Best Pop Performance by a Group. So number one song,
Amazing.
gold album, and a Grammy nomination off of a demo handed to Ethan Hawke. So wild.
Fantastic.